A glimmer of hope emerges from the depths. Ochre sea stars, those vibrant creatures that grace the Oregon coast, are showing signs of recovery after a devastating population crash. New research, a collaborative effort between Oregon State University and Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, reveals a promising baby boom is helping this vital species bounce back. This study, published in Ecosphere, doesn't definitively pinpoint the cause of this resurgence. Was it a direct response to the wasting disease epidemic that nearly wiped them out, or just a stroke of good fortune? But here's what the scientists found: at multiple sites along the coast, there are encouraging signs of recovery. Wasting disease remains in circulation, and populations continue to fluctuate, but there's also much evidence that ochre sea stars are bouncing back, explains Dr. Sarah Gravem, the lead author of the study. Gravem, now an assistant professor at Cal Poly, and Dr. Bruce Menge, a distinguished professor at OSU, meticulously analyzed ochre sea star populations across 8 different locations over a staggering 23-year period. The results? Many of those baby boomers have now reached adulthood, and the population numbers are either at or even exceeding pre-disease levels. After declines in sea star numbers of up to 84% in 2014, we quickly saw an 8,000% increase in young sea stars landing on shore, Gravem notes. This is fantastic news. The sea stars are now numerous enough to reclaim their role as a keystone predator in the intertidal zone. In fact, at 3/4 of the study sites, the sea stars are once again feasting on their favorite meal, California mussels. And this is the part most people miss. This predation is crucial. By keeping the mussel population in check, the sea stars create space for other invertebrates and seaweeds to thrive, boosting biodiversity in the intertidal ecosystem. We showed that sea stars have now grown abundant and large enough that they are eating mussels at similar rates to before the epidemic at most sites in Oregon, says Menge, who has dedicated decades to studying Oregon's intertidal zone. However, it's not all smooth sailing. The average size of the sea stars is still smaller than before the epidemic, ranging from 25% to 65% smaller at nearly all locations. Also, the populations are less stable year to year than they were before the epidemic. This is likely due to a combination of factors, including the ongoing influx of young sea stars and intermittent outbreaks of the wasting disease. Here's where it gets controversial. The connection between the sudden decline of ochre sea stars and the subsequent baby boom remains a mystery. It's certainly possible they are linked, which would mean these sea stars may be resilient to mass mortality events. It is also possible that the baby boom was unrelated to the disease, and simple luck enabled this relatively rapid recovery, Gravem speculates. The culprit behind the sea star wasting disease? A bacterium called Vibrio pectenicida. Scientists from the University of British Columbia, the University of Washington, the U.S. Geological Survey, and the Hakai Institute recently published their findings in Nature Ecology and Evolution. The disease causes the sea stars to develop lesions and twisted arms, making them appear as if they are melting away. What do you think? Do you believe the sea stars are truly recovering? Could this be a sign of resilience, or just a temporary reprieve? Share your thoughts in the comments below.